Everyone, it's Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, and today we're looking at the RC Eye One Xtreme Mode 2 version from rclogger.com. This is a new micro quad. It's almost a medium quad, but it's really a micro, I guess, and it has the capability of lifting 100 grams, which might make it the heavy lifter of micro quads. It has some interesting features like altitude height hold function, which works by getting your throttle right in the middle and you click the appropriate button. It'll actually hold altitude pretty well for a non-GPS quad. It has front and side orientation LEDs, brushless motors, auto power off for the motors, which is cool. If you hit something, they'll turn off, which is great. It has an acrobatic flip function, which I didn't focus too much on, but I have seen videos of it, and we'll talk about what I did focus on in a minute. It's very stable for a helicopter of this type. You know, I'm used to a GPS-equipped NASA board type quad, and this thing actually, after just a little bit of practice, I was flying it around the creek and doing the things I usually do. So that's good. 2.4 gigahertz. It has 3 flight modes from beginner to expert. Beginner is really beginner. So if you're brand new and you're afraid this is too much, it's not. And when you go to the next level up, it's actually perfect, I think, for flying around with a camera or a GoPro or whatever. It's good. And then the expert mode is just insane. So I'll leave that to the experts, which I'm not. I am a medium level quad pilot who likes to take pictures. It does have a robust frame construction as they described it. It can take a little bit of a hit. It's all plastic. I believe the arms there are carbon fiber, but everything else, the legs, and it's plastic and can take a hit. And it has one-link compatibility. One-link is a function that allows you to run this off your transmitter, not the one that came with it, but whatever transmitter you prefer. I'm doing a separate review on the one-link, showing how to set it up and getting it going with my DX18. And it also has an additional camera tray for the Aerial Kit, which we will talk about in this review. So, with that said, let's move into adding on to the RC Eye One, how I did it and what I did it with, and the result. We're going to first look at the Xtreme Aerial Kit. The Aerial Kit allows you to take your Xtreme quad and put a camera on it. The biggest advantage in the kit that I see are the props. While they only visually appear to be slightly larger than the stock props, they're 4 by 5.91 inches, and they allow you to haul up an RC Logger Pro camera or even a GoPro with authority. I mean, it has the power that you're looking for. It also comes with extended legs. These are 4 by 3.11 inch legs, and it just gets the Xtreme off the ground, allowing room, if you look into the left-hand corner there, for your camera mount. This simply slides on to the Xtreme, and there's another piece that will pop on to your RC Logger Pro or HD2 if that's what you're using. I will show in a second the kit that is it's a mounting kit for the RC Logger cameras. You pop that onto your RC Logger cam, and then that will slide onto the mounting kit. It also came with a battery that I believe is 1,150 milliamps, and it gets you about 5 minutes of flight time. So you put all these things together and you take this little micro quad and it turns into a micro video platform. It's pretty amazing. So now let's touch on the RC Logger HD2 camera. This is essentially the same as the RC Logger Pro, but you can't use this for FPV. It's essentially a standalone video and JPEG based camera. It has the ABS mounting bracket like I mentioned before. This allows you to use the Aerial Kit bracket on your Xtreme. There's a metal servo connection horn that you can mount where the lens is, as it's panning up right there. That can be moved by a servo. I haven't done that, but it is cool. The other nice part about that lens rotating is that if you mount it on a quad, you can point it straight down or a little bit forward, however it works for you. And I always appreciate the fact that I can do that. It has a micro USB out. That allows you to charge it. It comes with a LiPo built in. And that LiPo I appreciate I'm not running it out to power. I've never really run out of power before. And then you can take a look at the lens in a different angle. This is, if I'm FPVing, I usually shoot straight ahead. If I'm recording, I angle it down a little bit because that's usually what I need to do with it when I'm shooting video. The video quality is 1280 by 720, 5 megapixel photos, and it can do serial photo time lapse. It's pretty robust. And the thing I really like about this camera, and I've got a GoPro and I have some others, is the size. It's light, it's flat. I can mount it on my FPV aerial platforms, in the cockpit, anywhere. And it can be as simple as Velcro. And then I am now utilizing the mounting brackets they provided. So great little camera. You know, it doesn't cost so much. It's 99 bucks. It doesn't cost so much to the point where if you had a flyaway or something terrible like that happen, that you would just, it wouldn't break your heart. Although 100 bucks is nothing to sneeze at. So the Xtreme comes with an 800 milliamp LiPo, and it has an interesting plug, and you have to use the USB charger to charge it. There are third-party plugs that will allow you to change that plug into something more standard that your regular charger might accept. Also, if you use this USB charger, you need to use it in a wall outlet and not in your computer because it needs the juice the wall outlet can provide. In the Aerial Kit, they provide a 1150 milliamp LiPo. The reason is you're running bigger props and you're carrying more weight. And I'd like to test it some more, but I will say for now that 1150 LiPo is getting me about 5 minutes in the air with a camera. So that's not bad. It's pretty good. And these are tiny batteries, so you got to take that into consideration. So now we're to the sexy part of the review where we have the extended legs on the Xtreme. We have the camera mount with the HD2 on there, and we also have the larger props. And as you can see, there's very little wires. It's a very clean install. The camera is well above the ground, and it's pretty optimal. And once again, I'll say with those props and that LiPo, that thing flies with authority. It goes up fast. It can maneuver, and I think you'll be surprised when you get it in the air. Here's a forward shot of the Xtreme with the camera. And then you'll note here that you can see where the lens is facing forward and why being able to tilt that down is such a nice thing. So now we'll take a look at the Xtreme in the air. I'm going to show you a video of the HDT shooting in the creek area behind my house. And then we'll cut from that and we'll just look at it flying around a little bit. And there you will have it. So let's go. So here we'll see a little acceleration, and it is booking across the neighborhood. I specced it out and brought it back. And I think that's a good indicator of just how precise. The controller to me, it's like a game style controller, and it's not my favorite controller. It does what it needs to, but for throttle and things like that, it seems a little mushy. But I mean, there we have it. It's just holding. And I am messing around here with that attitude hold. The trick really is to get it in a neutral throttle position right in the center, and then you click the right button, and you'll see the lights will flash on the side. That flashing red light is telling you it's an attitude hold. The thing I realized, though, is if you touch the throttle, it goes out of attitude hold. And so that's what you're seeing here is I'm realizing don't touch the throttle. The red props and legs for me really helped with orientation. And then I think I'm going to pop it on the ground here to show you what, that's a decent hit. That's not a full-on crash or anything. And I did mention earlier the props will stop if they hit something. That sounds like a possible bad thing. I did have this under a limb, and I was just whacking that limb. The prop did not, or the motor didn't stop. But if you're on the ground, I had this in my house when I first started flying it, and I flew right into a cushion. And when I hit the cushion, the motor immediately stopped, which, is going to keep me from breaking a prop or bending a shaft or whatever. So in that aspect, it worked. And then I thought it was interesting that when I got it up under that tree limb, it kept flying. So that's good. I don't want you to think that the motor's going to stop and you're going to fall out of the sky, because that was not the case in my experience. So as you can see, it's a micro quad. It's pretty dang stable, a lot of fun, resilient. And what we're going to do next is look at some video of this thing flying around, and you can see what kind of video it'll take. Non-stabilized, just connected to the bottom of the quad. You might have noticed my timestamp is upside down in the upper left-hand corner. The orientation of my camera was flipped over, and I had to reverse it when I cut the video. You could change the orientation of the camera in the software via the USB cable in your computer. So I want to point out real quick, this footage was shot at a different time of the day. The sun was no longer out, or not as out as it was before. So I don't want you to think there's a difference in video quality. It's just the sky was different. So now I get brave and attempt to fly over the creek. I have another RC Logger cam on the bill of my Flying Giants hat there, and that's what I was using to shoot the cam with. They also have sunglasses that have a HD camera that are between your eyes on the sunglasses, so you can shoot whatever you're flying, which that's where I got the idea for putting the other RC Logger Pro on my hat, so I could shoot the video myself. So this thing really is, it's a heavy lifting micro quad with the capability of hanging a camera on the bottom. I don't know of any other quads like this. Brushless motors. It really can pull, as you saw earlier, with the bigger prop. I mean, if you're not running a camera, the stock prop's fine, but if you're going to run this extra weight, that big prop really makes a difference. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a blast. You plug the battery in, and then you just head in the backyard and do your thing. It's not really any worry about damaging anything or breaking anything. I did break one of my props, but that was my fault because I tried to do a fast takeoff in some rocks, and that was that for that. I think the really standout part of this quad is its size and its power, and the fact that I can put a camera on it all the way up to a GoPro. It's of a size where if it falls, there's not a lot of mass there, so you're not going to tear anything up, and you're probably not going to damage the quad very much. And I'm about to go over the creek, and it's going to sense my battery is low, and it's going to want me to land, but it gave me enough power to bring it back over the grass before I did have to land, which is great. So overall, I really like it. I really like the size. I like that it is a backyard quad. It is a beginner quad. The price can't be touched, for what you're getting there. There are other quads in this price range, and they do different things. But if you want to spend around $130 and get something you can actually put a camera on, this one is pretty much in a league of its own. Well built. RC Logger, they make good products. They really think about what they're doing. They have Adam, who is here in the U.S., who reps for them, and great guy, and you can usually get a hold of Adam. He's at shows. So I guess what I'm saying is I really like it. It's not just cute. It's an actual quad that can do things. So go check it out. I hope the video helped. And, I'm on RC Groups. If you have any questions, be sure just to shoot a PM to me. I'll answer them if I can. And this has been Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. And we've been looking at the RC Eye One Xtreme from RC Logger.